Hey friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. So I've been seeing these, what do they call, like natural, realistic nails all over my timeline, and I did them. I think they came out so cute. They were simple. I had like 3 colors that I used in the top coat and a matte top coat. So if you want to see how I did these, keep watching. I'm going to start with nail prep, and I'm going to start with pushing my cuticles back. This is going to be an important step to make sure that everything adheres as best as it can. Now I'm going to take this sanding band on my nail drill, and I'm just going to lightly dust off my nails. I'm trying to just push my cuticles back a little bit more and then get the top layer of shine off of my nails. And then I ended up going in with a mini mandrel and just kind of doing the same things. I like the mini mandrel for getting in the cracks. I try to like pull my skin back on the side and make sure I get in there really good, and the mini mandrel was a little easier to do that with. And like I said, this step is really important. Like the prep is so important to making sure your nails last longer, they look better. Now I'm going to take some alcohol. I use 70% alcohol, and I'm just going to put some of that on a paper towel and wipe all the dust off my nails. And then I go in with some nail dehydrator. Anyone is fine. I've been using this affordable one from Amazon for a while, but I just put dehydrator on all my nails. Sometimes I do 2 coats, but I just did 1 coat. Now, if you have cuticle nippers, go in and clean up your cuticles if you're comfortable with that. So now I'm just like sizing out all my nails. I know I'm going to use this little almond shape. And once they're sized out, take my mini mandrel and buff the back of the nails just so they get a little something to them that'll help them stay better to my nail. And then I'm also going to take the mini mandrel and try to shave off the letter on the nail as well. So now I'm going to take my nail glue, and this one is like a UV one for Gillex. I'm just going to put a good layer on my nail, not too thick but like not too thin. And I'm going to only work one hand at a time, so I'll do the next hand when I'm ready to glue those on. I'll put the glue on my nail, and then I'm curing it for 60 seconds. Then I'm going to also go ahead and get my gooseneck lamp out, just so I have it ready when it's time to start curing for like 30 seconds. So, and I'm still kind of new at this, so sometimes I would go in and put a little bit of glue on my fingernail and then go in and put some on the nail. But I just try to make sure I put a even layer, and then I go back and like put a good little bulk in the middle. And then I just go in and lay it on my nail, and I try to leave a little gap. I don't know if you can see, but a slight gap, so it's not like directly on my cuticle and it looks more natural when I go back in later. And you want to make sure you lay it down flat and make sure that there are no air bubbles. And it's kind of like you learn, like this is like my second time doing Gillex, but you learn as you keep even doing one set, because you notice like, okay, that was too much glue that time, let me try a little bit more, or that wasn't enough. So it's kind of, you kind of get used to it as you keep working. So it was working out well. And then I also had a brush handy on the side if anything went over the edge of the nail and I wanted to wipe it off before I cured it. But as you can see, I'm just going in with the glue again, and there's my little brush that I use right here, and I'm just dipping it in some alcohol and like wiping around my edges if they have too much glue. But the nails feel so strong. Like this turned out really well, even better than my first set. I feel like the nails are really sturdy. So I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other hand. I went ahead and cured the glue on my nails for 60 seconds, but I didn't do it on camera. And now I'm going in with the glue on the back of the nail tip. And then I'm just laying it down and making sure I get no air bubbles if possible. And then hold it under the lamp for 30 seconds per nail. And then of course, after you finish the entire hand, you need to go back in with your big lamp and cure it for at least 60 seconds. Okay, so now I'm going to take a ceramic bit, and I'm just going around the edge. I'm just going around my cuticle area. So I mentioned before how I didn't place it directly like on top or right above my cuticle. I put it like I put a little space between it, because I knew I want to go in with this and just like go around my cuticles to make sure I thin the nail out and make it look like it's coming straight out of my cuticle area. But be really careful with whatever bit you choose to do this. But I just started off with this ceramic bit just to go around my cuticle, like I said, and also to just dust the shine off of the natural, dust the shine off of the tip as well. Now I'm gonna go in with this little bit. It's like a pointy bit, and I'm just gonna go in and clean the glue off of the underside of my nails if there's any. And I only, at this point, I had only cured for like 30 seconds, so the glue was coming off pretty good. And then I'm just gonna take my brush again with some alcohol and get that residual glue out as well before I go in and cure it for a full 60 seconds. Now I'm just taking my file and I'm cleaning up my shape a little bit. I wanted to keep these almond, but I just wanted to make sure like the little stick at the end, or the little, I don't know what it's called, that little bump at the end of the nail, I want to make sure it was gone. So now I'm just going to take my palette and let's get into the hyper realistic nail design. So take a milky white and you're going to put some of that on the palette. Then take a yellow. I like this light yellow, kind of like pale yellow. And then I took this brown and I put it all on the palette. So you want to make two different colors with these. One is like a off-white with a little bit of each color in it, and then one is going to be a little darker. So I think the one that I ended up making first, I made it too dark. So I ended up just using it for the second color that I needed. So I didn't go in with this first, but you'll see what I mean later. So I'm just mixing some brown and some yellow. And you see how dark it came out. That's good for the second color I need. But I just went back in with more milky white. And then I'm just going to grab a teeny bit of yellow and a teeny bit of brown, just to make this yellow, just to make this white more like a off-white. I don't know how to explain it. But you see there's a difference between the colors. So one's like not that dark. So I'm going in with a brush and I'm just going to take that lighter white that I mixed, and I'm going to do 2 coats on the back of my nail. I ended up switching to a different brush. I have like this empty top coat bottle that I use the brush for sometimes because it just goes on really well. So I switched to that. But I'm just going to do 1 coat of that lighter white color, cure it for 60 seconds, go in and do a second coat. And then after the second coat is cured, I'm going to go in with some top coat and then put the top coat underneath my nails as well. And then when you're curing underneath your nails, of course, I'm holding my hand upside down in the light. So now I'm going to take the darker brown, but before I don't go straight in with the darker brown. First, I go in with a top coat and I'm just going to put it on my nail, but I'm not going to cure it. Then I'm going to take the darker brown and I'm just going to go where it looks like my natural nail would start to, like, you know, grow beyond my nail bed. And I'm just kind of drawing lines on that part, kind of like how you would do a French tip. I'm just drawing lines on that back and forth. If you can see, just giving it some texture. So I'm just going to repeat that on all the nails. Like I said, just go in with the top coat. And then you take the brown, the darker brown that you mix with the white, yellow, and brown. And I'm just kind of going in a back and forth motion to create some little mini lines on the nail. And as you can see, they're looking really good. They're looking really natural. I was really surprised at how good these turned out. But I'm glad they turned out. And people have been thinking these are my real nails. But this is what it looks like. And now to make it look even more realistic, I'm going to go in with a matte top coat. But of course, if you wanted to leave it glossy, you can do that as well. But I like the look of the matte. So these are how they look once they're cured. They look super realistic to me. I think these came out super well. Now I'm just going to go in with some cuticle oil. And these are the finished nails. Let me know what you think about these. Are these nails that you want to try? Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.